Hello, 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 hello. Day 2 of my Moroccan dinner. I even wore a dress that looked Moroccan. No, really, that kind of, not really, that kind of. Anyway, so, preparation. I already took the meat out of the fridge and put it in the oven because it has to cook very slow because the recipe wants the lamb to actually fall off the bone, so it's in the oven. It has been in the oven for 1 hour, so it still needs to be there for maybe a couple more hours, which is okay, I still have time. I eat late dinner anyway. So, here I'm preparing for the tagine, the vegetable. So what do I have here? I have carrots, zucchini, a sweet potato, 2 medium kind of large potatoes, 2 medium sized white onion, 10 of garlic, 10 of them. And then for the seasoning, here I have some some coriander, some what is the name of this canela, cinnamon, and then some turmeric for this one. And also here, I'm going to use the harissa. That is part of it. Now, also, I need some fresh tomato. Well, they say then 2 cans of whole tomatoes. You guys know me, people will be following my cooking. I don't like to buy canned tomatoes. Either I make my own tomatoes during the summer, but I don't buy canned tomatoes. So what I did is I bought those Romano tomatoes. I put them in hot water so that the skin will become loose, and I'll take out the skin, and that will be my whole tomatoes. That's what I'm going to use in the recipe because I'm not about to buy canned tomatoes. I'm not doing that. Some black olives, some chickpeas, the boiled chickpeas, and I'm going to use some of the coriander, the fresh one, parsley at the end, and we're going to need a lemon. Also, I need broth. I usually make my own broth, but it takes a long time. I didn't have time. So what I did is, in a pot of water, I put cube magic here. I put 2 of them and a leaf of a bay leaf, and I boiled it, and now I'm letting it simmer, and that's going to be the broth that I'm going to use in the sauce. So what I need to do now is that I need to cut all the vegetables in cubes. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back. Following my recipe here. So here, I just took out the skin of the tomato that I had in the water. I chopped the garlic. I chopped the veggies. So I have the onions here. I have the carrots and the zucchini here. And I have the potato and the sweet potato here. Now, is one thing that I forgot to tell you that I had to put some dry apricot. So this dry apricot, they still have the thing in the middle. So I had to cut them and then I had to chop them. But after chopping them, I needed, you wanted me to have half a cup. After I chopped them, I had to put them in hot water to soften them because they dry, they're a bit hard. And that's what I did. So here they are. And then I had to squeeze full lemon juice here. So now I'm going to chop the tomatoes and I'm going to begin the cooking. And when I'm done cooking, because when everything, all the vegetables are mixed, it takes some steps. It will cook for about 20 to 25 minutes, and that's when I'm going to start doing the couscous. So the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop the tomatoes, get everything ready on the stove, and then we're going to move on to the stove. Okay, so now I put some olive oil, and I'm going to put the onion in a low temperature and let it get golden for about 5 minutes. Now I'm going to put in the chopped garlic, the 10 little cloves of garlic that I have. Okay. Let it simmer slowly for another about 3 minutes. Now I'm going to chop in all the vegetables. I'm going to start with the zucchini and the carrots. And then the potatoes and the sweet potatoes. And stir. Wait for a few minutes, like about 5 minutes again. Okay, now I'm going to put in the spices. I'm going to put the coriander. Okay, the cinnamon, the turmeric, and the salt. And I'm going to stir. I'm not adding the tomato yet. Now I'm going to put a little bit of the broth, about half of it, and then stir. Okay. So now I'm gonna cover it and let it cook for 5 to 7 minutes, and kind of like number 3 if you have an electrical stove, so that it doesn't burn. Okay, so now it has been 7 minutes. I'm gonna add the tomato, and I cut each tomato in 4 parts. Add the tomato, and I'm gonna add the apricots, and then add the rest of the broth. I'm gonna take out the bay leaf. Okay, stir. Okay, and cover and let it cook for 5 minutes, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to add, it's been cooking for 20 minutes now. So I'm going to add the chickpeas and the black olives. I'm going to stir. Okay, let it cook for 5 minutes. Cover back for 5 minutes. And then will be the last step. Last step now, a tablespoon of harissa. Okay, some parsley, coriander, like a handful cut, and then a squeezed lemon juice. We're gonna stir this. And this is my Moroccan tangine. So now I'm just gonna close it and turn off the fire. And now I'm gonna work on the couscous. Now I'm moving on the couscous, and like I told you, this time the couscous, the way I'm making it, I'm gonna steam it. I never done it that way, but you know, I'll try. But I don't have the real couscous pot, so I'm using the Chinese steamer. I think it's the same concept, so it should work. So the first step first. Again, even this couscous, this the way I'm making it, I never made it before. I usually just buy the one from the store who are pre-cooked. This one is not, so I'm trying. So here I put 1 pound. I had to weigh it to make sure that it was 1 pound because the bag was bigger than 1 pound. So I have the couscous here. And then they say here, in a very large bowl, pour the couscous, which I did, and add the olive oil 1 tablespoon. So this is, I need to, wait a minute, this is 1 teaspoon, no, tablespoon, that's a tablespoon. So 1 of olive oil. Okay, so I do this. Okay, I need to add some salt. Let me just get some salt. Okay, added some salt. Okay, and then it was 1 teaspoon of salt, by the way. And then I need to add 1 1/4 cup of water. 1 1/4, like room temperature. 1 cup and 1/4. And by the way, I wash my hand because you're supposed to use your hand now. Okay, so now they say using hand technique, mix the couscous, and then I'll put it in a steamer. So now I just need to go and mix everything. Oops. Maybe I should have gotten a little bit of a bigger bowl. But as long as it gets mixed. And you're supposed to do this when you're mixing it, because you want to make sure then it's all mixed like this. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna go and get the steamer, and then I'm gonna place it in the steamer the way he asked me to do. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now I am putting the water, and I'm gonna put the Chinese steamer on top of it. And then it does tell you to either steam it with water or to steam it with broth or a mixture of both. I'm gonna do a mixture of both. So I put some water there, and I'm gonna go and add some broth. Okay, now after I do this, I'm gonna put it on the side. Actually, I'm gonna put it on the stove. I'll show it to you after, and I'm going to bring the Chinese steamer. Here is my Chinese steamer. And then of course I'm putting this underneath, because if I don't, the couscous is gonna go through it. So you're supposed to do this, and then you put it down. And then I'm gonna take the couscous. My hands are still clean, I'm sorry. And then just make sure then they are not, then they smooth. And then you're just gonna cover it. Oh, this is gonna be delicious. If I do it right, this is how I'm gonna do my couscous for now on, and I'm not gonna go and buy the pre-cooked one. I'm gonna use this one. So let me see. You have to make sure that it's all smooth. Okay, let me come back. Otherwise the video is gonna be too long. So as you see, the couscous is here, and it says here, then okay, add how I did that. Room temperature, allow the couscous to absorb the water and swell. Okay, I did that for 10 minutes. I'm gonna leave it here for 10 minutes. Use and technique. So, and then after that, I'm gonna put it in the steamer. Put the steamer basket on top of the steamer and keep it uncovered. Monitor the couscous after about 10 minutes, the steam will start to come out of the couscous. Start a 5-minute timer. The couscous should be steamed without a cover. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for 10 minutes. Hey guys, so I just took the couscous from the thing. I'll be back. Okay, so here I just took the couscous from the steamer. So it's here, it's kind of hot. So what I need to do now is to take the couscous and put it in a bowl. So this is what I'm gonna do now. But I need to be careful because it's hot. Okay. And put this back here because I'm going to use it again. So I just need to take all the couscous out. Okay, very good. Put it back here because I'm going to use it again. So now the recipe, remember I had to put, I had to put, oh my God, this camera is not staying still. Give me a minute. Okay, give me a minute, I'll be back. Okay, so I have to add another cup and a quarter of water. Cup and a quarter. Okay. And then I need to add another tablespoon of olive oil. Okay. And at this point, I need to try a little bit the salt. It's not enough, so I can add a little bit. Okay, just add a little bit. Mix it again. But then at some point, I need to mix it with my fingers, but not yet. So now I'm gonna mix it with the spoon because it's hot. And then when it cools down, I'm gonna let it cool down for 5 minutes. And then I'm gonna come back. And at that point, I'm gonna mix it with my fingers to make sure that it's really smooth. And then put it back in the steamer and put it back on the fire. So I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, so here it cooled down. My fingers are clean. So what I need to do now is go like this to make sure then the couscous is not stuck. Okay, very good. Oh, it feels good. So you do this. Perfect. Very good. And now what I'm going to do is to put it back in the steamer. So oh, and you know what? It has become even how do you say that? They popped off or something? Because now it's even more than before, because the bigger the grain with the water and the olive oil got bigger. Perfect. Okay. Very good. And now I'm gonna put it back. And here he is in the steamer. And they say not to cover, so I need to flatten it a little bit, but they say not to cover, and I need to let it cook for another 10 minutes. And here is the plate. As you see, I put the couscous in the middle, the vegetables around, the tagine, and then the lamb on around it. It is delicious. This couscous tastes much better than the one who comes in the pack. So if you really like couscous, you really need to try to do it this way. Bon appetit. And of course, I'm having my as ever wine because it goes perfectly with this.